Okay guys, this is the quick YouTube version. If you want to see the full version, then go to the link accompanying this video in YouTube, and there'll be a long, high quality, in-depth review appearing soon. Okay, now this is the Behringer, the new Eurodesk. That is the SX2442FX. It's the new model, which is sporting this new colour coordinated paint job, and basically the whole thing's finished in this kind of gunmetal grey, and then other bits are picked out in this black paint or this silvery white. Okay, and it does it makes the mixer very easy to navigate around. It divides the areas off nice and clearly, especially useful for beginners. Now it's got plastic end cheeks like on the Behringer BCFs or the BCR controller mixers. It's one-piece sheet steel, and it's a 24:4:2, which means the final stereo left right out. So for beginners, that's what it means: 24 channels into 4 subgroups into 2 being the final stereo left right out. Just move this light around a bit, it's a little bit bright. How's that? Yeah, that's better. Now, how does Behringer deliver that channel count to the end user? Well, it does it like most of the other manufacturers by offering you a load of what I would call fully featured channels, and then it augments that fully featured channel count by adding on additional fixed stereo line input channels. Okay, so this mixer sticks to that protocol, and what you get for your 24 channels is you get 16 what I would call fully featured channels featuring the Xenix mic preamps, and those channels have got the complete set of facilities. Okay, that brings you up to channel 16. Then the final 8 channels to bring it up to 24 channels are delivered in the form of 4 stereo fixed line channels, and that means for beginners that a single channel carries a stereo signal down it. Okay, and what you get is you get channel 1718 and channel 1920 are these 2 full-length fixed stereo channels. But the last 4 channels, that's fixed stereo channel 2122 and fixed stereo channel 2324, are delivered in the form of these little mini channels, right? And all they have is a level control, a solo switch with an LED indicator, and a couple of auxiliaries which are fixed pre. Okay, now let's just take a look at one of the full-length channels. You start at the top with a Xenix mic preamp input socket, the XLR, and you can see that inside the sockets it's gold connectors. There's gold connectors on all the XLR inputs, including the master balanced XLR outs, but the 1/4" sockets, as far as I know, are not gold plated. Okay, so you start with the XLR mic input, and then you've got a balanced or unbalanced tip ring sleeve line input 1/4" socket. You've then got an insert tip ring sleeve 1/4" socket, and you're then into the channel controls, which begin at the top with the input gain. Now these input gains and the whole Xenix preamp assembly, you basically get, it's like it'll give you 130 dB of dynamic range, and the input gain gives you a maximum boost of a huge amount of 60 dB. Okay, so really what you can say is that these Xenix preamps will handle anything that you throw at them, really. And you get 16 of them, and to be honest, they're actually very good on a mixer of this budget. This mixer is 325 British pounds for all this, and they're actually very nice little preamps. Okay, so every input gain on the Xenix mic preamp equipped channels features this level set trim LED indicator, and just over here to show you how that works, I've got a little drum beat coming on these 2 channels, and all you do is you raise the gain until you get a flickering on the peaks. I'll bring up the channels down here up to 0, which for beginners means that the signal passing through is not being cut or boosted. And if you look over here, raise the master fader. Oh, hang on, one side's not in the mix. This side, hang on, there you go. If we raise the master fader then to 0, look at the metering. You see it's comfortably peaking at about 4 under clip. If we were to make this setting on these peak indicators just slightly less conservative, okay, so it's a little bit hotter but still just flickering on the peaks, again passing through the faders without any cut or boost. Raise the master fader up to 0, look at the meters, now it's peaking comfortably at 7. Okay, so the point being, once you get a healthy level on here, you get a signal passing through the mixer out to your outputs, which includes your record outputs on if you're going to wire your buses to your PC or Mac audio device or a digital recorder. You get a very decently balanced level through the board in terms of like getting a good level without it overloading. And if you calibrate the input of your Mac or PC to line up with this, it works very well. So these are nice, these little LED indicators. Okay, below that you've got a low cut switch, which is an 80 Hz 18 dB octave classic kind of bass rumble mic rumble cut switch, and you've got one on every mic channel, so that's really handy for live work. And then you're into the EQ, and the EQ section is a 3-band EQ, and it's capped in this navy blue, and you've got a top and bottom shelving filter and a sweep mid, and the sweep mid pair of pots, the frequency selector is a slightly different lighter blue. So you've got a 12K top, cut or boost by 15 dB, an 80 Hz bass, cut or boost by 15 dB, then the sweep mid is selectable from 100 Hz to 8K, cut or boost by 15 dB. Okay, and the EQ actually sounds very nice and smooth, it's not bad at all. We're then into the auxiliary section. There are 4 auxiliaries. The first 2, labelled auxiliary 1 and 2, capped in red, can be switched into pre-fader position from their default post. And the second 2 are called, or the legend on the board says FX1 and FX2, and they're capped in orange, and the reason they're called FX1 and FX2 is because they're hardwired to these 2 onboard 24-bit effects processors. But this control, that one or that one, on either of the 2 effects processors, also controls the master input level coming into the effects processor, but it also controls the final master level going out of the effects send socket 1 and 2 up here. So these 2 effects auxiliaries can be used as traditional auxiliaries sending out of the board to use outboard hardware effects, but you can also use the onboard effects processors at the same time. And finally, we're into the pan control, and then after that is the fader area, and they're all 60mm faders. Every fader on this board is 60mm, and they're actually quite smooth, quite nice. They don't feel too nasty, you know, they're alright. You've got a large mute switch with an LED indicator, which means you can do dubs and things on this board and live electronic gigs, which is good. You have got then a clip indicator LED in red. If I boost this up and make it clip, you can see that. There you go, look, I'm clipping the channel now. Okay, and that clip indicator also doubles as the solo lamp if you solo a channel. Okay, after that you've simply got your routing buttons. You can route the channel to main, left, right mix, subgroup 1, 2, subgroup 3, 4, all of them, or any combination of them, or none of them. Right, that's your routing buttons. And that's your inputs channels. The only difference with these 2 full-length fixed line channels is they've got a different input gain, no bass rumble cut switch for the mic because it's not a mic channel, and the EQ, instead of having a sweep mid, has got a fixed 3K high mid and a fixed 400 Hz low mid, cut or boost 15 dB. And as we've already seen, the last 4 channels are these 2 little mini stereo channels that only have pre-fade auxiliaries and a level control and a solo lamp. And that's it, that's the input section of the desk, and in the second of these little YouTube teasers I'll show you the master section. Okay, so tune in for that one. Ciao.